Back to Weekend Today in Central New York. We're talking clocks right now because there's a big convention coming to Syracuse next weekend. Ed Hooker joins us right now. You are a collector.
Yes.
But also a bit of an authority on these historic clocks.
Well, I like the history of the clocks.
Okay.
And that's why I get into, that's more fun than collecting them sometimes, just learning the history of them.
Sure. Both of these have local connections. This is a Sirocco clock, right?
That's right. Was made in Syracuse by the Sirocco Company, probably in the early 30s, 1930s.
Okay.
It is made out of a composition material, which is like ground up nutshells and glue.
Really?
And they cast them in a mold. And they were an economical clock to make.
Okay. Pre-plastic, obviously, which a lot of people remember Sirocco for.
Sirocco later on went into the plastic business, but it was an old company that was started in the 1890s, and they quit making clocks or went out of business in the 60s.
Okay. This one is a bit more valuable than the Sirocco one, just a bit.
It's an Ithaca double-dial calendar clock made in Ithaca, New York, and they're highly collectible. They were a high-end clock when they were new. They're still pretty high-end clock.
Okay, two faces on this clock.
That's right. One is for the time and one is for the day and date of the month.
There you go. How much is this worth?
That one's probably worth about $500 to $600 today.
Well, that's up there for a clock, no question.
It's amazing.
You have also brought a whole bunch of pieces of old clocks, and the reason for that is your convention has a kind of a special guest this time around.
Yes, we have a gentleman, Ernie Kanaki from Buffalo, who is he's a master at restoring clock cases, porcelain and missing parts and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he's putting on a hands-on workshop on Saturday afternoon that we invite the public to. And they can actually bring a piece to have it duplicated. And they will actually do this process themselves, and they'll be able to take the rest of their materials and stuff home with them and play with it
and fix your clock. Now, does that, if you have a very historic clock, does that decrease the value to change things like that?
Well, it depends. If it's a real historic clock, then you'd want to do something a little more upscale on it.
Sure.
These are for I say mid-type clocks and mid-range clocks.
If you're missing a foot or something.
If you're missing a foot, you might need another foot to make the clock hold and sit still. And this is what this will allow you to do. And you can make either metal replacement parts or you can copy wood trim. There's a medallion there that you could copy. And or any other case parts that's missing.
There you go. Thank you so much for the preview.
Well, thank you.
If you are interested, the Clock and Watch Collectors have their convention at the Holiday Inn Electronics Parkway. It's open to the public and free to look next Friday and Saturday. Now, if you want to go to this parts making workshop, that is a ticketed event. You can check the website for more details.